Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jada and I love everything yarn, books, and painting. In this video, I want to talk about the 26 books I want to read in 2026. In 2025, I read 23 books, so I want to challenge myself a little bit. And while I yap about my 2026 TBR, I will be redecorating my Kindle and its stickers. So let's go. The first book I want to read this year is Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. To be honest, just the cover got me, so that's why I want to read it. The next book I want to read is Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, and this will be my very first thriller, and I'm so excited. The next book I want to read is An Ember in the Ashes by Saba Tahir. I'm really itching for a new fantasy series, and I feel like this would scratch that itch for me. The next book I want to read is The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini, and I'm not gonna lie, this one really intimidates me. I'm not sure why, it just does, but I am excited to read it. The next book I want to read is The Raven Scholar by Antonia Hodgson, and I've heard so many good things about this, and I'm so excited to dive into it. Bestie Jamie has read it, and Bestie Freya has read it, and I really want to read it too. The next book I want to read is Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid, and this one has mixed reviews, so I want to see where I land on it. The next book I want to read is The Secret History by Donna Tartt. I don't know very much about this book besides that it's a dark academia book, and to me, that's enough. I love anything dark academia. The next book I want to read is The Martian by Andy Weir. I read Project Hail Mary in October 2025, and that was a 5-star read for me. So I want to go through Andy Weir's backlog, and I also want to watch the movie of this book. It looks fantastic. The next book I want to read is The Will of the Many by James Islington. Y'all know about this book. I don't have to explain this book. I just know that it's really popular right now, and then also with the Strength of the Few that came out in November, I'm having serious FOMO, and I really want to get into this one. Also, look at the cover. Like, that's a crazy cover. The next book I want to read is A Sea of Unspoken Things by Adrienne Young. I read The Unmaking of June Farrow and I loved it. And I really want to get into Adrienne Young and her backlog. The next book I want to read is Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. This is the last book in the Rebel Blue Ranch, and this is a second chance romance. And I'm excited and sad to finish this series. I just love these characters so much, and I'm so excited to dive into it. And at the time of recording this voiceover, I've actually already started it. The next book on my list is Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru. This is a romantasy that's kind of celestial vibes, and I literally love anything celestial vibes, and I just really want a new romantasy in my life, so I feel like this one will do it for me. The next book on my list is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers, and I really want to read more contemporary fiction this year, so I figured that would be a good place to start. The next book I want to read is The Sword of Kaigen by M.L. Wang. I read Blood Over Brighthaven in November of 2025, and I cried the first 10 pages in, so I figure I might as well read The Sword of Kaigen, because why would I not read it when I thought Blood Over Brighthaven was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I'm gonna get to this one. The next book I want to get to is The Starless Sea by Aaron Morgenstern. Honestly, the cover got me. I don't really know much about it, but it looks really intriguing and I want to get to it. The next book I want to get to is Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. I read Red Rising and I really enjoyed it. I also did audiobook of Red Rising and I thought that was also enjoyable. So I want to continue reading the series. The next book, or I guess I should say duology, is the Shepherd King duology by Rachel Gillig. I soft DNF'd One Dark Window, not because it was bad or anything, I just felt like it wasn't the right time for me to be reading it, and I really want to get back into it, hopefully around October, as I thought the book was really atmospheric and really like spooky, eerie kind of vibes. And I mean, just look at the covers. Like, does that not feel spooky to you? So I want to get back into this, hopefully. The next book I want to get to is The Phantom of the Opera by Gaston Leroux. I really want to read more classics this year, and I don't know, it just looks so intriguing to me. I really want to get to it this year. The next book I want to get to is Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft. The next book I want to read is Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. The next book I want to get to, and this is the final book on my Kindle TBR for this year, for now, hopefully, is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I have tried time and time again to start this series. I will try my best to at least get to The Way of Kings this year. And on my Kindle here, on the face of it, you can see that the bell jar is my current read, and at the time of recording this voiceover, I've already finished it. And now on to my physical TBR. The first one I want to talk about is My Friends by Frederick Bachman. I have heard so many good things about this author, and I really want to read his work. I really think I'd love it. And I got this beautiful hard copy in a bookshop in Rhode Island when I went back in the summertime. So I'm really, really excited for this story. I don't know very much about it. I just know that I'd love it. The next book on my list is Carrie Soto is Back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I read Malibu Rising, and Carrie Soto was a character in that book, in that story, so I want to dive into Carrie's story. This seems like a pretty short book, and I know that it follows Carrie's tennis life, so that sounds pretty intriguing, so I want to get into it. I also think that the cover and the spine is absolutely beautiful. The next book on my list is Firefly Lane by Kristen Hanna. I started this already, and I think I got to about chapter 4. I accidentally soft DNF'd it. So when I get back into it, I'm just going to start all over from the beginning. I think the cover and the spine are absolutely gorgeous. I do know that this follows two female best friends and their relationship, but like I said, I didn't get very far in it, so I'm just gonna start it over. I am really excited to start over though, because I was enjoying it. The next book on my list is The Great Alone, also by Kristen Hanna. I know that this follows a Vietnam War veteran who moves his family to Alaska. I read The Woman by Kristen Hanna, and that follows the women who were nurses during the Vietnam War. So this one sounds really good to me. I know that it's going to be very emotional, as Kristen Hanna is a very emotional writer, but I still really love her work as she is a auto-buy author for me. So I can't not read The Great Alone. The next book on my list is a hopeful reread, and that is The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna. This book right here absolutely broke me. I have never cried so many times reading a book. And am I choosing violence for wanting to read 3 Kristen Hanna books in 1 year? Yes. Yes, I am. Because those of you who read Kristen Hanna's books, you know how emotional and how devastating that they can be and that they are. Okay? I've read The Woman, cried so many times. I'm expecting to cry when I read The Great Alone and Firefly Lane. So we'll see if I get to The Nightingale. The next book, or should I say series, is Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. I do, in fact, have every book in this series because I know when I get to this series, I want to binge it and I want it to consume me. This has been on my shelf since late 2024, and y'all tell me, do I read Throne of Glass first or The Assassin's Blade first? I'm leaning to wanting to do Throne of Glass first, but what do y'all think? I want emotional damage. That's what I want. Emotional damage, okay? I am terrified of Kingdom of Ash, but I'm also extremely excited to get into it. I don't know too much about Throne of Glass. I think as a series as a whole, I know that I want to go in relatively blind. I don't really want to read the synopsis or really learn our characters too much. In the beginning anyway, I just want to go, I want to start it, I want to read it, and then let the pieces fall in naturally. But yeah, I want to have a prediction and say maybe that Queen of Shadows will probably be my favorite. It just looks so beautiful, and I'm so scared. I'm so scared. Look at how big and thick these books are. Look at that. Look, this book is huge. Okay. And then here we are with Kingdom of Ash, this gigantic book that I'm so scared of. Oh my gosh, it's so big. Anyways, thank you guys so much for spending some time with me today and listen to me yap about the 2026 books that I want to get to in 2026. Will I get to any of these books? I don't know, maybe. Will I be absolutely delusional and get to every single one of these books on the list? Also, maybe. So I guess we'll just have to wait until the end of the year to see how all of that goes. And it's beautiful stack of Throne of Glass. Anyways, thanks guys for being here, and I will talk to you later. Bye.